Good evening. Today I am going to talk about biorhythm, otherwise known as circadian rhythm. Our body is constituted by energy, which is also called as a bioenergy. We have 24 hours in a day. We have 12 major organs. Each major organ is at its peak for 2 hours. Then the energy goes from one organ to another, and 24-hour cycle, all the 12 major organs are at their peak for 2 hours. But while I was doing this acupuncture, based on this acupuncture theory, biorhythm theory, I started recalling what is happening in newborn baby. I have learned so many things from the newborn baby. One aspect is how to keep ourselves alive, not only alive, how to keep ourselves healthy. Both are taught by the newborn baby. If you observe the baby, you will know how to live a healthy life. Just look at this picture. Now look at the baby's breathing. Chest and abdomen, both are taking the energy, both are expanding. Chest is expanding, abdomen also is expanding while breathing in. This is called abdominal breathing. Then it exhales. When it exhales, abdomen shrinks, chest also shrinks. So this is called abdominal breathing, which I have learned from the child. Is it possible for you to look at the child and learn something called, what is called the acupuncture system? See how I am applying this system, how I learned from the newborn baby. The breathing. When the baby is delivered, when the infant is delivered, first act is it cries with full force. When it cries with full force, chest expands, abdomen expands. It serves dual purpose. What is the dual purpose? One is, in postnatal life only, lungs starts functioning. And in the prenatal life, lungs are grown, they are not breathing at all. Once the baby is delivered, once the infant is delivered, while crying, it takes enormous amount of energy inside, taking the entire body is now filled with the energy, not only chest, even the abdomen expands, taking the energy. Now this is inhaling. While inhaling, first time the respiratory system starts functioning. Until then it was not functioning. Now it's functioning. Now the abdomen expands. While breathing out, what happens? The abdominal pressure is felt on the internal organs, especially the major organ, large intestine. When the large intestine is under pressure by the abdominal muscles, what happens? First time the large intestine releases the waste material, that is called meconium. Meconium. First time the large intestine evacuates its content, that is called meconium. Two actions are there. One is inhaling, lungs start functioning. Then while breathing out, large intestine evacuates its content, that is called meconium. When the child starts crying, mother hugs the baby, she starts feeding the baby. Maternal blood actually serves to dual purpose. One is it fills the stomach. The maternal blood has got also immunoglobulin. Maternal blood first 24 hours breast milk has got, it is known as colostrum. That has got immunoglobulin, maternal immunoglobulin, that actually goes to the stomach and then it goes to the spleen. Why spleen? Spleen is a reservoir of blood. It also has got the capacity to produce antibodies against any pathogens. So look at the sequence. First starts breathing, then it releases the meconium, then it feels hungry, the stomach is getting filled up. From the breast milk, immunoglobulin also goes to the stomach. From the stomach, the energy, immunoglobulin reaches the spleen, which is the organ of defense. It belongs to the immune system. So these four sequence, if you follow, you know how to live a healthy life how to lead a healthy life by allowing the energy to enter into other organs. Now we take the adult life. Just look at this circle again. We have 12 major organs. Of the 12 major organs, one important one is lungs. Without breathing, nobody can exist. So lungs have to be active. So each organ receives the energy for 2 hours. The lung is the primary organ which receives the energy from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. The energy stays here. So lungs are very active at that time. So this is the time for pranayam. That is why it is called Brahma Muhurta. For apt time for pranayam. Then the energy goes to the large intestine. If the lungs are not active during this time, you can see people suffering from asthma and all, they are getting aggravation during this period. Then the energy from the lungs, the energy goes to the large intestine. This is the time for the large intestine to be very active. It starts moving, it starts contracting, expanding. That is called peristaltic movement, by means of which large intestine becomes active. Then it releases its content through what is called defecation. If the person sleeps during this period, he is not very active, large intestine will not function properly, constipation, diarrhea, colon disorder, IBS, so many other problems may come. So now the energy from large intestine reaches the stomach. Stomach functions from 7 to 9. It is very active, it is very alert during this period. During this period, what does it do? It starts releasing, synthesizing pure hydrochloric acid. Not only that, other enzymes that are necessary for digestion are also secreted by the stomach. During this period, if the stomach is not fed with nutritious food, solid and nutritious food, stomach starts showing malfunctioning. This is the apt time for breakfast. Why it is called breakfast? So many people are observing fasting on so many days. But every day, in 24 hours, we fast at least for minimum period of 8 hours. Dinner around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. After that, we go to sleep. During sleep, we don't take anything. Morning, we get up, then attend to some work. Sometimes we take breakfast during this period, sometimes we skip. At this time, if you don't take breakfast, breaking the fast, every day we are fasting for 8 hours. If you don't break the fast, taking the breakfast, what will happen? The stomach, when it is empty, it starts producing pure hydrochloric acid and also other enzymes. Pure hydrochloric acid will irritate the lining mucous membrane of the empty cavity. It produces acidity, ulcer, and then it may lead to cancer also, or acid reflux. The esophagitis may come, or dry cough the person may feel. So many malfunctioning may appear related to stomach. So breakfast is absolutely essential for children, adults and also senior citizens, irrespective of age, irrespective of gender. Then the energy goes to the spleen. From the stomach we think the energy will, digested food will go to the small intestine. It is not so. It goes to the spleen. Why spleen? Because it acts as a defensive mechanism. It has got cells which are capable of defending our body against any pathogens. When the time is required, when there is pathogen, it has got the capacity to produce antibody against any infection or infectious agents or pathogens. Then spleen belongs to the immune system. The energy just then goes to the heart. From these 4 organs in the same sequence, energy goes to the lungs, makes us saliva, makes us take nutritious food. Then the energy goes to the spleen, makes us defend against any infection. Then the energy goes to the heart. Why heart? Because heart is a very powerful muscular organ. It has got its own cardiac muscles, characteristic of heart. Then it has got its own nervous system. It has got its own blood supply. It has to function throughout our life. But it starts functioning by pumping. pumping mechanism. But how does it carry the blood to other organs? By the blood vessels which springs from the heart. So the heart actually functions by making movement, that's all. But it has to be very powerful. The power comes from these four structures, or these four organs. Then when the heart starts functioning, the energy goes from to the small intestine. Heart functions, it receives blood vessels through the veins, lymphatics, and also it's from the heart, blood vessels spring, and then blood goes to the other organs, reaching each and every organ. Blood has got fluid and also blood cells. Blood cells come from this spleen. So, and also from bone marrow. That is being carried to all the other organs. So, all the other systems belonging to all the other organs having the lymphatic system, they get the strengthened. Then oxygen is being supplied by the heart. That also is reaching the organs in our body. Then the energy reaches the small intestine. Small intestine receives the energy from the digested food. It has got the capacity to assimilate the food through the hair-like structures called villi. Then through the villi, the nutrients enter into the bloodstream. Then it goes to the spleen and other systems. That's all. We will not go into that. But the villi actually has got the capacity to absorb the nutrients and send it to the circulatory system. So, circulatory system is blood vessels. So, blood vessels are related to small intestine. Blood vessels have to be strengthened. No? Small intestine must be very powerful. Small intestine has got the capacity to absorb the nutrients, and also small intestine is related to blood vessels. So, blood vessels, they are be functioning. They have, small intestine has to receive the energy from the heart. 1 to 3, it's working hours. So after taking food for 2 hours, 3 hours later, if the person feels some discomfort, that means small intestine is involved. Either blood vascular system or the small intestine itself is not functioning properly. You have to treat the small intestine meridian. I will come to that meridian later on. So the energy now goes to the bladder, which is functioning, which is at its peak from 3 to 5. From this 3 to 5, the energy goes to the kidney, which is at its peak from 7 to 9. Then the energy goes to the brain 7 to 9 p.m. Brain is very active. Then the energy goes to the spinal cord, which is very active from 9 to 11. Then the energy goes to the gallbladder, which is very active from 11 to 1. Then the energy goes to the liver, which is very active from 1 to 3. Then the cycle just starts again. So this is the biorhythm, or otherwise known as circadian rhythm. But how you can relate it to diagnosis and treatment? Each organ is at its peak for 2 hours. Now you know which organ is at its peak by looking at the cycle. So if the person has got some problem between 11 and 1, you know the heart is not functioning properly. You have to seek the help of the doctors or whomever you want. Then small intestine is affected. If there is any discomfort between 1 and 3, small intestine or blood vessels are affected. You can definitely diagnose. You can go to small intestine meridian or the blood vessels. What is meridian? So our body is constituted by the energy. I am using the word suddenly meridian. What is meridian? Our body is constituted by energy. The energy flows. We take breath, we inhale. When we inhale, we take energy inside. But the energy, once it goes, it doesn't just enter into the entire body like that. It has got its own pathway. 12 major organs are there. Each organ has got its own energy. It has got its own pathway. That pathway for the flow of energy is known as a meridian. Each meridian is connected to one organ, lung meridian, large intestine meridian. So through the meridian, the energy reaches the corresponding organs. So if there is some discomfort between 1 and 3, small intestine meridian is affected. If there is problem between 3 and 5, urinary bladder is affected. Supposing the person feels some discomfort between 11 and 1, gallbladder is affected. See, these organs, if I say gallbladder, it's not the gallbladder alone. Gallbladder and liver, they are one pair. Either 11 to 1 or 1 to 3 means 1 to 3 means muscles, liver is affected. 1 to 3 liver is affected. Liver is also associated with the eye, a sensory organ. It is also associated with the muscles, ligaments and tendons. Supposing there is some problem between 1 and 3, you have to go to the liver meridian and treat the cases. Supposing it is acute, all of a sudden it occurs, you can go to the, you can reach its counterpart, that is called gallbladder. You can treat the gallbladder meridian in case of acute symptom. In case chronic symptom is liver problem or eye problem or muscular problem, chronic muscular problem, tendon, the ligament tear, etc. You can treat in the liver meridian. This is how you diagnose at what time the symptom gets aggravated, how we can treat the meridian by taking the elements in the meridians. So elements in the meridian, that is different aspect, we will go into that later on, but this is how we diagnose the cases based on the timings. It is called circadian biorhythm. Bio means life. All the organs have got their own rhythm. So this is called biorhythm, otherwise known as a circadian rhythm. So based on this, if you start your life cycle, pranayam 3 to 5, then evacuation of the large intestine content, defecation at between this time, then taking breakfast between 7 and 9, and then allowing the energy to go to the spleen. If you follow this sequence, automatically you are alive. This is what I have learned from the newborn baby, to keep ourselves alive and healthy. These two, filling up the stomach, allowing the maternal immunoglobulin to enter into the spleen. Then other organs will automatically start functioning from the energy that is coming through this. So we have to keep ourselves alive by doing pranayam during this period, taking breakfast at this time, then automatically our defensive mechanism functions properly. All the other organs also will function properly. But only thing is, keep yourself alive by following the biorhythm. Not only alive, by taking breakfast with a nutritious food, your defensive mechanism also gets enhanced, more energy. By means of which you can keep yourself alive and healthy. Thank you.